Good evening and thank you for joining us. Carly, that sports headline, I mean, really, it'd be great if it was a rivalry, but right now, not even much of a rivalry.
No, it really can't be, but that's a great thing about CFL football is that everybody has something to say, and all you have to do in the Border City to get people to talk football is say, hey, how about them Riders? And there you go.
Absolutely. And it was a beautiful day out there today, Shauna. I was able to get out for a while, and it was kind of hard to get back in and do the newscast today, but here I am.
Yes, we had a great day, but get your rain gear out because there is rain headed our way. So as we take a look now across the Border City, we're sitting at 21 degrees with a light breeze out of the north. How does that compare to Lakeland and Battlefords? Very similar conditions, very nice and warm in the Battlefords. So as I said, the rain is coming. How much? I'll have the full weather forecast coming up a little later on.
A new study has shown that road rage has been on the rise over the past 5 years. Higher stress and frustration levels are deemed to be key factors, but Mike Baden explains that there may be a larger problem than just built-up anxiety.
New statistics show road rage is on the rise, and many people agree.
I don't think it's safe.
They need to do something with the roads. It's all too congested.
With more and more traffic delays each day and cities constantly getting larger, the problem has continued to grow.
The people are driving more miles and maybe commuting a bit more even to and from work. And more miles per day certainly are going to affect road rage and anxiety and the stress that goes along.
One suggestion is rerouting your commute to avoid the daily traffic problems.
I'd say some people get a little antsy when they're waiting in line at a construction site or when a train's coming through town or something, but people just need to always kind of plan ahead in the event that it's summer, construction's out there, and they might have to be held up for a few minutes.
But a new study shows it might not be that easy. It suggests there may be a medical explanation. Intermittent explosive disorder is the medical term researchers are using, and day-to-day happiness is a contributing factor.
If your life is not going well, when you get in that great big suit of armor known as your automobile, you may really come to terms with things in a way that you wouldn't normally.
IED involves multiple outbursts that are way out of proportion to the situation. Researchers are hoping that this study will help identify troubled drivers, who can then seek behavior therapy or any other necessary treatments. In the meantime, Wilhelm says stress balls and deep breathing are ways to help relax on the road.
Really saying to yourself, about, attitudinal and sort of self-management strategies are maybe better than anger management.
Mike Baden, Newcap News.
A report released by Statistics Canada today says national crime rates have continued to fall and are now at the lowest point they've been in almost 40 years. Despite this encouraging trend, Robert Buffum explains it's not good news on the crime front for the Border City.
Blake Hardy's been hustling for the past 3 weeks, trying to raise cash for a new bike after his prized BMX was ripped off.
I left it in my yard and then somebody stole it.
The incidents left the 8-year-old somewhat jaded about his neighbors.
I can't really trust them because I don't really know them.
But motivated to earn a new ride.
He was told that if he didn't take care of it properly, he had to buy himself a new one, so he came up with it. He could collect cans.
Ironically, Blake's bike was nabbed shortly before Stats Canada released a report out this morning claiming crime in Canada is on the decline. The report says 2.1 million crimes were reported in 2010, 77,000 fewer than 2009. Meaning crime rates in Canada were down 5% from the previous year, and serious crimes dropped 6%.
Despite the good news in the report, it's not all positive, especially not for Lloydminster, which remains one of the most crime-riddled communities in Canada.
Stats Can measured serious crimes in the country's 238 biggest communities. In relative terms, North Battleford was ranked the place with the most serious crimes. Lloydminster wasn't far off, rounding out the top 10, after places like Thompson, Manitoba and Prince Albert, Saskatchewan.
But you see the crack cocaine.
Local RCMP blame a couple factors for Lloyd's severe crime problems.
Serious crime and economic prosperity sometimes go hand in hand, especially when it's attached to drugs. And that is just a reality that we're dealing with right now.
Chris Benson heads a neighborhood watch group. She stresses the importance of neighbors staying vigilant.
They often call it nosy, but I say no. There's no such thing as nosiness. It's being interested in it, it's being caring, it's being concerned, and it's being involved.
For Blake, it's a lesson learned the hard way, and one he won't make again. Robert Buffum, Newcap News.
A court date has been set to try and resolve the ongoing dispute between local First Nations groups and the province of Alberta regarding the English Bay campground near Cold Lake. Protesters have been at the site since May, despite a court order saying they must vacate the grounds. The province wants to redevelop the property. However, local First Nations say the land contains sacred burial and ceremonial sites. The two sides will meet next June in Edmonton Provincial Court for a judicial ruling on the proposed redevelopment of the land.